So, a message for all of you young people as we are. We are all, we have been taught that children basically are only costly, that we shouldn't have kids because the world is getting overcrowded and we're not going to have food and the landfills are bursting. Okay, I understand that. But Yahuwah said the first commandment of the scriptures, be fruitful and multiply. That is first given to the animals in Genesis 1:26, and then it is repeated again to Adam and Chava. One of our goals is to keep populating this earth. Because for a person to be saved and enter the kingdom of Yahuwah, this person needs to be alive first.
Well, well, well.
Shalom, y'all.
Episode 20.
Finally,
We have made it. It's
we,
official.
we made it. We are professionals now.
We. Where's my plaque? Where's my diamond play button? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is, you know,
Where my Bugatti at?
like I can't even walk outside anymore, dude. I can't even go to Chick-fil-A. I can't go to the grocery store, nothing without getting swamped.
Yeah, everybody recognizing us.
It's crazy. Like, yo, aren't you that love apple guy? Aren't you that dude obsessed with the love apples?
Yeah.
Like, I prefer to be known as a love apple connoisseur. You know what I mean? But
It adds an umph to it.
to each their own. Let me take a sip of this water. If you guys don't know,
Let's do it together.
Chaim,
Chaim.
you guys may not know, but I just did. I spent like an hour. I wasted Yoshi's time. Man had enough time to go make a sandwich. He went and used the potty. He hung out with his wife, wrote a poem,
A little bit.
went for a horse ride, and came back. And we just not getting started. But you know what? I'm just glad we're here. I'm glad you're here. But
We
most
all.
importantly, Yahuwah's glad you're here, and he's glad we're here too. So, welcome to episode 20, the big 2-0. 20, 20. How do you say it in Portuguese?
Precise.
Same
20
thing. 20.
with a V instead of a B.
Okay. Welcome to episode 20. Today, hey, and you know what? There's a lot of milestones happening on
A lot of
episode 20.
milestones, a lot of first times.
Today we complete Genesis.
Amen.
So if you have been watching this whole time, this is a big now. It's like we move. It's like a next. It's like that big step.
It's the next level.
You know what I mean? So we're excited. Big moment. We're reading the last 4 chapters. Genesis.
Now it's two.
It's two.
Two chapters, 49 and 50.
49 and 50. And another thing that's happening is we are also live.
At this very moment.
And if it's not live, that means this got edited out because it didn't work as planned. So you know what? We try to go live, see if we can
Just reel some suckers in.
reel some guys in here, you know what I mean?
I got the rod here.
Yep. And got a nice little piece of bait on there. And we're gonna start live streaming these every Thursday night.
Yahuwah willing.
Yeah, willing. And if
Oh,
it's not,
but didn't you say it was going to be Sunday like at 8 a.m.? Why are you guys changing your mind so much? Life happens, I guess.
you know, and it might change again. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? We just kind of go with the flow. And look, I know we're like you guys are thinking it's episode 20. These guys are like professionals, like they just have like 1 million subscribers. They got all these people, like but I still got a job, bro. I still got a job. Yoshi got his job, and we got a lot of obligations. So we're trying our best to like make this. And you gotta remember too, Yoshi's all the way in Brazil. I'm all the way in the United States here.
Yeah.
So to coordinate our two very busy schedules. I've gone through a lot of life changes recently. Got married, got into a new place. Plus work's always busy. It's just we're trying to find a good balance of making sure we're giving you who the time he deserves for this, and
And also not to make something sloppy, like we're trying to do our
Yeah,
best in this thing, not to just do anything, but to try to do the best we can. So that takes a little bit of planning and coordination.
yeah, and and we're figuring it out. So it's
Yeah.
maybe yeah, willing one day we're able to just pour everything into this as we'd like, and then it's a different situation. But in the meantime, we're doing what we can with what we got. So we appreciate you guys for joining. Hey, man, don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe. D- Don't forget to share. Sh- You know what the old adage is, man? Sharing is
Caring.
caring. And I know you guys care. I know.
And also, comment, guys. Y'all ain't making no comments in these videos.
Yeah, there's 41 of you guys. Like somebody's got to comment
At
something.
least 41 comments,
At
minimum.
least just say hi. Just say bye. Just say,
Whatever.
Yoshi, that's a nice sword you got back there. That's a nice drum set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nehemia, when are you gonna hang your painting? You know what I mean? Something. Just comment something, dude. So, yeah, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with some friends, share it with family, share it on social media. We really appreciate it. It help us a lot, and it helped get you whose message out there. So
I
enough
mean,
lollygagging. Let's get to what really matters. Today we're reading Genesis 42,
49
49.
and 50.
Is there ever a day Nehemia will get it right? I guess you have to keep finding out or tuning
I
in to find out.
mean, I think these love apple testings are taking its toll on your head. I am your counselor. I kind of have the right.
Yeah, but if you cure me, then you're out of a job. So you can't like it's like big
I'm
pharma,
working. I'm working myself out of a job, but in the long term. You know what I'm saying?
right? You just gotta
Slowly but
stretch it out.
surely.
It's like big pharma, Like you
Yeah.
give us the medication so we can keep getting. Anyways, we're not gonna get into that. I'm not
Sure.
saying anything, man. I'm just saying what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So let's go ahead and get that Genesis 49 and see what kind of happens. What's the renewed covenant portion?
We actually have Genesis 49 through 50, then Exodus 1 through 2.
Okay, so it's still for okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So we get to go into Exodus today.
Yeah. We can
Oh man,
actually get into it.
oh man, I'm excited. I got the, you know what I mean. I'm just like ready to go.
Bam.
Right there now.
So Genesis 49, and we are finishing the book of Genesis tonight, Yahweh willing, if we don't drop that in the next 15 minutes. So
I hope not that quick.
let's do it. You ready, my brother?
Yes, you're reading first.
Yeah, I'll read first. Odds are mine. All right, let's get it. So, and Yaakov called to his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the Yamim HaAcharonim, in the last days. Gather yourselves together and listen, you sons of Yaakov, and listen to Yasrachal your father. Reuvan, you are my Bachor, my firstborn, my might and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. Unstable as waters, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. He went up to my couch. Shimon and Lawi are brothers. Instruments of cruelty are in their dwellings. O my being, come not into their secret. Let not my kavod, my glory, be united to their kihila, their congregation. For in their anger they killed the man, and in their displeasure and self will they hamstrung an ox for pleasure. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their anger, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Yaakov and scatter them in Yasrahal. Yahudah, you are he whom your brother shall praise. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Yahudah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Yahudah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh comes and the things reserved for him. To him shall the gathering and the expectation of the nations be. So, who is this Shiloh guy?
You asking
Basically, it
me? Oh,
starts. Basically, yeah, I was asking you and everybody else together. But
uh,
basically, the definition of an apostle comes from this word, Shiloh, Sholiach, a sent one. So we were talking about who before? Yahudah, the tribe of Judah. So basically, this Shiloh guy, he needs to come and he shall be the hope and the expectation of the nations. And who is from the line of David, that is from the line of Judah, that is and was and will ever be the expectation of the nations? Messiah, Messiah Yahusha. At this point, he was just known as the word of Yahuwah, or Davarti Malkitzedek, or my word Melchizedek. So at this point in this prophecy, this was thousands of years in the future. And we are talking about the Messiah also, because in the book of Romans is one of the best ones to get this as an example. It is written that we are adopted children of Yahuwah, and we are adopted by this Shiloh's actions adoption. We are not brought forth children of Yahuwah because we are from the dust. He is not from the dust. He made us from the dust. But this man, this Yahusha, before he was known as Yahusha, he basically had purchased us before the foundation of the world. So even here in the book of Genesis, and we've seen Yahusha the Messiah in the first verse of the first chapter of Genesis, but throughout the Tanakh, or the Old Testament, we see not only the person of Yahusha, but everything that he was to accomplish. And this verse resonates a lot with me, at least, because look at the verbiage. To him shall the gathering and the expectation of the nations be. So he is going to do the gathering once he comes, and he is the sent one of the Father. So to me, that is a beautiful picture of what Yahushua was coming to do: gather and be the expectation, be the hope of the nations. Because in him, there is no more Greek, nor Jew, nor Aramean, nor male, nor female, but everybody through Messiah can and is saved by his resurrection. By the blood we are cleansed, but by the resurrection we are saved. So just wanted to throw this out there for everybody. Verse 11. Binding his foal to the vine and his donkey's colt to the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine and his clothes in the dung and the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine and his teeth white with milk. Zavulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be to Sidon. Yissachar is a strong donkey, couching down between two burdens. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became an avad, a servant to tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Yasrachal. Dan, by the way, means judge. Dan shall be a serpent in the darach, in the way, an adder in the darach that bites the horse's heel, so that its rider shall fall backward. I have waited for you, Yahuwah, O Yahuwah. God, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the end. Out of Asher, his lacham, his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a deer let loose. He gives beautiful words. Yahusaph is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have severely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Elohayim of Yaakov. From there comes the shepherd, the stone of Yasrachal. Even by the Al of your Abba, your father, who shall help you, and by the Almighty, who shall bless you with blessings of the Shamayim above, brachot, blessings of the deep that lies beneath, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of your father have prevailed above the blessings of my ancestors to the utmost border of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Yahusaph and on the Keter, the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brothers. Benjamin shall tear as a wolf. In the bokar, in the morning, he shall devour the prey, and at Lila, at night, he shall divide the plunder. All these are the 12 tribes of Yasrachal, and this is what their Abba spoke to them and blessed them. Everyone according to their bracha, he blessed them. So basically, all these is a compilation of what would happen to the 12 tribes of Yasrachal in the future, near and far future. And there are a few studies. I believe even Sholech made a study about this, that through this prophet, this whole gigantic prophecy here in Genesis 49, we can have a some sort of a pretty good idea of who belongs to which tribe based on the characteristics set here for each tribe of Yasrachal. Because nowadays we don't have any records that can verify by last name, and also we had a lot of pogroms, a lot of exiles, a lot of Holocaust, a lot of persecution. So a lot of people had their names changed. So we technically have no idea who belongs to what tribe. And my personal opinion is that Yahuwah did this on purpose so we could flee finally from these lineage theologies that salvation is blood related, and if you're not of that specific tribe you cannot be saved, or if you don't have that specific skin color. So I believe Yahuwah did this on purpose to basically say you have only one door back to me, and this door is Yahusha, regardless of where you were born, regardless of what tribe you belong to, regardless of what skin color you have, regardless of if you are blue blooded or not. So, my opinion.
Only blood that matters is Messiah's blood.
Yeah, his is the only blood that kind of covers for sin perpetually.
What chapters?
20, 29. We are Genesis 49 through 50. 29. And he charged them and said to them, I am to be gathered to my people. I'm going to die now. Bury me with my forefathers in the cave that is in the field of Aphrom the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, that Abraham bought along with the field of Aphrom the Hittite for a possession, for a burial place. They that buried Abraham and Sarah his wife, there they buried Yitzchak and Rivka his wife, and there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is there was from the children of Chat. And when Yaakov had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet in the bed and yielded up the Ruach, the spirit, and he was gathered to his people. So this is the deathbed scenario of Yaakov, our forefather, Jacob, Yisrael.
Amen. Okay.
Hashem,
Chapter 50.
you up to bat.
Let's get it. And Yosef fell upon his Abba's face and wept upon him and kissed him. And Yosef commanded his Avadim, the physicians, to embalm his father. And the physicians embalmed Yashrael. And 40 days were fulfilled for him, for so are fulfilled the days of those who are embalmed. And the Mitzrayim mourned for him 17 days. So we see not only did his own family mourn for him, but even the Egyptians, even those outside there. That's the kind of impact that he had.
Right? And he was the father of the governor. So technically they only knew him for 17 years, Israel. But in those 17 years, that was the sheer impact that he imprinted in everybody there.
4. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spoke to the Bayit, the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found chen in your sight, in your eyes, please speak to Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, See, I desire to die in my grave that I have dug for myself in the land of Canaan. There shall you bury me. Now therefore let me go up, please, and bury my Abba, and I will return again. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your father, even as he had made you swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, and the Shamashim of his Bayit, and all the Shamashim of the land of Mitzrayim. That's the elders, right?
Yeah.
And all the Bayit, verse 8, and all the Bayit of Yosef and his brothers and his father's Bayit, only their little ones and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both Merkavot, chariots, and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond the Jordan River, and there they mourned with great and very severe lamentations. And he mourned for his Abba, Shava Yamim, 7 days.
Yeah.
Just made that up, okay.
That's it. Sitting Sheva, even the Jewish people, they do that to this very day, the custom of having at least 7 days of mourning for their dead.
And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, This is a severe mourning for the Mitzrayim, for the Egyptians. Therefore the name of it was called Chaval Mitzrayim, which is beyond the Jordan. And his sons did to him according to all he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah. that Abraham brought along with the field as a possession for a burial place from Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Mitzrayim, he and his brothers, and all that went up with him to bury his father, after he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brothers saw that their Abba was dead, they said, Joseph, maybe will hate us and will certainly repay us all the evil that we did to him. And they sent a messenger to Joseph, saying, your Abba did command before he died, saying, so shall you say to Joseph, please forgive the trespass of your brothers for their sin, for they did to you evil. And now we beg you, forgive the trespass of the servants of the Elohayim of your father. And Joseph wept when they spoke to him. And his brothers also went and fell down before his face. They said, see, we will be your servants. Again, another, uh, what's the word I'm thinking of? Another confirmation of the dream that Joseph had as a child that caused
Yeah.
this whole debacle in the first place. Right
Yeah.
here, they are now saying, oh, we're going to be your servant. We're going to be your servant. And this is exactly what he said. Um, this is exactly what he was saying was in his dream.
Yep. And also, I love the beautiful picture of all the tribes of Israel bowing down before Yahusha. Because remember, as we have been
Yeah, yeah.
following in the episodes, the whole life of Yahusaf is a picture of Messiah's work and everything that he would do when he came to the earth, and afterwards in the return. Now that we are understanding about the 70 A.D., not new doctrine because it has been there this whole time. It's just a new understanding for us.
Stored.
Yeah, it's restored. So we have been understanding that Yahusaf is a picture, is a show and tell of everything that Yahusha would do. And now we see again all the tribes bowing down before Yahusha once again. Our Father has been buried, and please don't avenge us for all the evil that we have done against you. And yet, what did Yahusha say? Forgive, Father, for these don't know what they do. So, like we see again, another confirmation, another messianic confirmation. If the scriptures, if you are reading the scriptures and you cannot see Messiah, there is a problem with that because the scriptures have to point to Messiah. It's all about the redemption of us. It's all about of His perfect work and everything that He accomplished, so we could be justified with Him. So, to me, that's beautiful.
Right. And it's beautiful too, because if any of you have watched all the way from episode 20 some odd, 19 some odd episodes back,
First of all, thank you.
thank you. You're a real one. You're a real one. Um, what was the whole point of us? What was the whole thing we're trying to accomplish with this podcast? Was to start was reading through this parsha, reading through the first covenant with this renewed covenant, is connecting Messiah. Can we find the Messiah? Can we find that connection with Yahusha in the first covenant? Because what you see, nowadays, and we've talked about this probably a million times already, is just, nowadays you have this division, right? In mainstream quote unquote religion, which is basically that, for the most part, the Jews hold to the Jewish religion holds to the first half of the book. The Christians in the church hold on to the second half. They see the first half as, history, context. It's what got us here, but we are now in an era of grace. We no longer need any of this old stuff. And what we're willing trying to accomplish is show that it's not, there is no separation. It's a fulfillment, it's a connection, it's one entire picture.
Yep.
And when you see the scriptures as one entire picture, as opposed to just looking at a corner here, a corner there, a corner, you have a much better understanding and you have a much better connection to your Messiah, to Yahuwah, and to who you are as an individual in your faith. Not
Yep.
just a Gentile, not just a Jew, not just from the tribe of Benjamin or the tribe of Joseph. And nothing. No, you are Israel. Even if you don't have Israelite blood, you are Israel. As it kind of connects to what we were saying earlier, through the blood of Messiah, because your blood
Yep.
doesn't matter. It's Messiah's blood that matters. And even if you have no Israelite DNA, through the blood, through his sacrifice and his adoption, you are Israel. And you have such a rich culture and a heritage that to connect with. And that'll just bring life and just rejuvenate and just it's indescribable when you understand that this is something that you're a part of, that it's not just these people in a book that existed 6,000 years ago. Like, no, you're a part of this. You are a continuation of all these people's work, of all their sacrifice. You are a continuation of this. You know
You
what I'm
are
saying?
their
Like,
fruit, basically.
you are their fruit. They all work. They sowed seed in these fields that you are harvesting. And That is the responsibility we have, is to continue in that work, to
Yep.
bring more people, to wake more people up and say, no, this is who you are. This is what you have. Look at this inheritance that has been left to you.
Amen.
So,
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
amen. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Where were we?
19.
19. And Yosef said to them, fear not, for am I in the place of Elohayim? But as for you, you thought evil against me. But Elohayim meant it for Tov. Easy for him to say, you know what I mean? He's kind of like running the show over there in Egypt. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the governor of everything.
Yeah,
Now
so I'm
it's easy
saying.
to say that.
Yeah. But Elohayim meant it for Tov, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save many people alive. Again, painting more of a picture of what Yoshi's saying. Like, this is a type of Yahusha.
Type of Yahusha.
Now therefore fear not, I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. And Yosef dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Yosef lived 110 years. And Yosef saw Ephraim's children until the third generation. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Yosef's knees. And Yosef said to his brothers, I will soon die, and Elohim will surely visit you and bring you out of this land to the land which he swore to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov. Yosef took an oath from the children of Yashrael, saying, Elohim will surely visit you, you shall carry up my bones from here. Yosef died being 110 years old. They embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin of Mitzrayim. Can you scroll up a little bit? Because this is going to kind of foreshadow what we're about to read in the next book here. 24. And Yosef said to his brothers, I will soon die, and Elohim will surely visit you and bring you out of this land. What land are they in right now? Egypt. To the land which he swore to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and Yaakov. And I think this is so important, especially, if anyone is watching right now, if they pay attention to any of Shalek's teachings with this whole, with the restored understanding of covenant eschatology, with understanding that Yahusha didn't physically come on the earth, but he came as a cloud in 70 AD and fulfilled every prophecy and every promise that he has made. You start to see these examples. It's not like just something that just happens randomly. Like, you see these examples in scripture. What is Joseph saying? There's going to come a time where Yahuwah is going to call you out of this place. And everybody knows Exodus. Most people have read Exodus. You understand that Yahuwah uses Moses to bring the Hebrew people out of Egypt and into the promised land, and so on and so forth. But as you move forward, you're going to see these continual promises and prophecies made, and promises and prophecies completed and come to fruition. And that is followed all the way up into the book of Revelation, and so on and so forth. Because Yahuwah does not speak empty words, and he's not a man or the son of man that he should lie. When he tells us he's going to do something, when he tells us he's going to be at a certain place at a certain time to do a specific purpose, he is a Yahuwah of his word.
Amen. And also to fit in with what you're saying, basically we always read about the land of Canaan, this physical land that has a physical name and a physical location. But remember this principle that we are going to read in the next few weeks, Yahweh willing, of Exodus 25:40. And I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but that is the principle of do according to all the patterns that I showed you in the mountain, because they are mirrors of the patterns in the Shamayim. So what is my point with this? If we have a Canaan below, we have a Canaan above. And what does Hebrews 11 say about this? For our forefathers, they looked for a city whose foundation the builder and maker is Yahuwah. In other words, they were not, of course, they were promised the physical land, yes, to establish the nation. But our end goal, as Nehemiah was saying, this is but a picture. This is a mere picture of this whole thing. Our focus is the New Jerusalem, and the New Jerusalem is where Yahuwah dwells, and Yahuwah is nowhere near the current Jerusalem there in Tel Aviv and Haifa or whatever, in the physical land of Israel. He lives in a set apart place, and it is to that place that we should be journeying towards. So yeah, Hebrews backs up what we are trying to say here.
Now we go big moment here.
In gigantic moment. Now let me just backtrack because we need to go to Exodus chapter 1 now.
If anyone's on the live stream, right, we just read through Genesis, and we just finished the last two chapters. Now we're going to go into Exodus 1 and 2. on the live stream we don't have the scriptures up just because of the format. Maybe one day we'll get it together and we'll be able to fix it.
Yeah,
But in the meantime, you should get your scriptures. Follow along. We're in Exodus 1.
let's do it.
Yeah.
And today about to be a little short and sweet because we are finishing Genesis and also starting the book of Exodus. And Yahuwah willing, soon enough, we're gonna have like a little treat for you guys and for us at least,
Yeah.
where we're gonna do like a special video, probably recorded, not live, but a special video nonetheless about our testimonies, talking about our lives and how we ended up here, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So today is a little short and sweet, shorter than it is normally. All right. So Exodus 1, Shemot 1. And this is to say, why are the books of the why are the names of the books the way they are? Because of normally the first sentence. So why is Genesis Bereshit in Hebrew? Because that's literally the first word that comes to
Beginning.
pass. Yeah, beginning, in the beginning. Why is the book of Exodus named Shamot? Because Shamot means names. And the starting line is, these are the names of the children of Yisrachal. So this is how we got to these names that we have in the Hebrew. And of course, for convenient, how do you say conveniency?
For
For
convenience.
for convenience, we have like in English or in Portuguese or whatever language that you choose. For instance, why is it Exodus? Because this book talks about the exodus of the
Yes.
people, but originally it was based on the first sentence of the scriptures. So Shemot 1. Now these are the names, the Shemot of the children of Yisrachal, which came into Mitzrayim, Egypt. Every man in his household came with Yaakov, Jacob. Reuven, Shimon, Lawi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zevulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, and all the beings that came out of the loins of Yaakov were 75 beings. For Yahusaph was in Mitzrayim already. And Yahusaph died, and all his brothers, and all that generation. And the children of Yisrachal were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and became exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there rose up a new king over Mitzrayim, who knew not Joseph. And he said to his people, see, the people of the children of Yisrachal are more and mightier than us. Come, let us do wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there comes upon us any war, they join with our enemies and fight against us and then leave the land. So a message for all of you young people as we are. We have been taught that children basically are only costly and don't value for nothing, and that we shouldn't have kids because the world is getting overcrowded and we're not going to have food and the landfills are bursting. Okay, I understand that. But Yahuwah said the first commandment of the scriptures, be fruitful and multiply. That is first given to the animals in Genesis 1:26, and then it is repeated again to Adam and Chava. One of our goals is to keep populating this earth, because for a person to be saved and enter the kingdom of Yahuwah, this person needs to be alive first. So this is part of our job, to have children. And it is written in the scriptures, I just don't remember the address of it, but it is written that the children of men are the inheritance that Yahuwah gives to us. So I say this having thought about children very, very badly before. I used to frown upon, this idea. I didn't like that idea. Didn't enjoy that thought. Let's put it that way. But I've come to understand, and I'm still in the process of understanding that, despite the fact that sometimes we think about it and we don't like the idea, this is part of our job. This is part of what Yahuwah expects of us. One
Right.
of the reasons why Islam is conquering Europe is because of this. The plural
Mhm.
marriage is not contested because everybody is afraid of them. Nobody's, up to par to say anything. They have multiple wives, multiple children. The next 2 or 4 generations, all the European parliaments are going to be Islamic. So we could do the same, but we are still holding on to those Greco-Roman ideas that children are devils and we're not supposed to have them, and we are supposed to be independent and let our generations and our lineages die. So technically, it's upon us.
it's an anti-human perspective that I feel like has definitely taken root in these this generation and these upcoming generations. When you're ready to make those babies, Yoshi, let me know. I'll get you some love apples free of cost. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
But yeah, it's just especially, and I don't want to get too deep into this covenant eschatology because I am not well versed enough to
We
go
are
in depth
not.
into that. Yeah, we are not well versed enough to get into depth into that. But I think it's also when you don't have the proper understanding that the world isn't going to end, and uh, it's not gonna you're just not gonna come and nuke the world and lay it out to obliterations, which creates this kind of pessimistic, um, you know, why even bother? Why invest? Why even try? Who cares? Kind of nihilistic attitude. And you understand that this earth is going to continue on. This is Earth is Yahuwah's field. We are his crop, and this is where he comes to harvest, to plant and to harvest.
Yep.
And why would he destroy his garden? Why would he destroy his vineyard?
Makes no
He
sense.
uses this to raise up his crop so he can harvest it in due season. And when you have that understanding, it gives you more of that hope to like, no, let me create uh, let me be fruitful, multiply, bring more children that can I can raise up in stewardship for Yahuwah to bring more light into this world, and not just kind of leave it as forsaken and it's gonna be blown up and the Earth is gonna crash into Mars and it's just GG. You know what I mean? Like no, like
Yeah.
there we need to do the work here. There is the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. Like we need more workers. And this anti-human view, which whether it's through AI and this whole transhumanist perspective, not to get into this whole, like
Cyberpunk
conspiracy,
perspective.
cyberpunk vibe or anything like that, but it's very evident. Like you see it all the time. I mean, I'm only 28, but I have so many friends. Or you see it all the time on Twitter, on X, on social media, on Reddit. Everybody talking. I can't. I'm not having kids. I can't afford kids. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's all fear based. And we know that
Yep.
that fear isn't from Yahuwah because Yahuwah hasn't given us a spirit, the spirit of fear, right?
Yep.
So we know that's of the enemy, and that's sometimes like you don't have to end a population through war, through famine, through disease. You see what's happening, like Japan, right?
Yeah.
Like their population is collapsing,
A
and
lot of old people, not a lot of new people.
yeah, yeah, and so anyways, be fruitful, multiply, man. Have some
Yeah.
babies. You know what I
And
mean? If Yahuwah
also
blesses you, have them.
and also the market. Why do you think the housing is so expensive? Nobody can buy houses, nobody can have children if because they don't have a roof to put over these children's head.
Yeah.
And then that's the slippery slope. So verse 10 again. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it comes to pass that when there come upon us any war, they join with our enemies and fight against us and then leave the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh the treasure cities of Pitom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Yasrachal. And the Mitzrim, the Egyptians, made the children of Yasrachal to serve with harshness. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, with mortar and with brick and with all manner of service in the field. All their service, which they made them serve with, was with harshness. And the Malach, the king of Mitzrayim, spoke to the Avri midwives, the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shifra and the name of the other Pua. And he said, when you perform the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then shall she live. But the midwives feared Elohayim and did not obey what the Malach of Mitzrayim commanded them, but saved the male children alive. And the king of Mitzrayim called the midwives and said to them, why have you done this thing and have saved the male children alive? And the midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Avri women are not as the Mitzri women, the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian ones, for they are lively and are delivered before the midwives come in to help them. Therefore Elohim dwelt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and became very mighty, very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born to you, him shall you cast into the river, but every daughter you shall save alive.
Chapter 2. And there went a man from Bait Lawi, from the house of Levi, and took as a wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bore a son. And when she saw that she was a beautiful child, she hid
He
him.
he was a beautiful
He was a
child.
beautiful child. Sorry, I don't mean to misgender. She hid him hold on, 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of wicker and coated it with slime and with pitch and put the child inside. And she laid it in the reeds by the river's bank. And his sister stood far off to know what would happen to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her female servant walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the reeds, she sent her servant to get it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child. And see, the baby wept. And she had Rachamim, had mercy on him, and said, this is one of the Avri children. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call you a nurse from the Avri woman, from the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for you? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the servant went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give you your wages. The woman took the child and nursed it. Which is something I always found weird. Like, I mean, I guess in this case it's not super weird because it's like not her physical baby, but like
Right.
people who like have other like women. I mean, I guess if like maybe you have some kind of medical condition or something, but like if you like could do it, I feel like it's kind of weird like having your baby on someone else's like
I mean, the concept of
breast.
babysitter doesn't start with us. It started with these dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
I got money. I don't have time
And,
for that.
hey, I mean, babysitting is one thing. You know, having your kid, drink milk from some other lady, that's like cheating. That's like
That's the point. It
child
started like
cheating.
this. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. That's true. Where was I? 8?
9.
9. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give you your wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter. He became her son. And she called his name Moshe, Moshe or Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. And it came to pass in those days when Moshe had grown, that he went out to his brothers and looked on their burdens. And he saw the Egyptians smiting the Hebrews, smiting a Hebrew, one of his brothers. And he looked all around, and when he saw that there was no man, he killed the Egyptian, hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, see, 2 men of the Hebrews argued together. And he said to them that did the wrong, why did you smite your neighbor? He said, who made you a prince and a prophet over a judge over us?
Gotcha.
Do you intend to kill me as you killed the Mitri, the Egyptian? Moshe feared and said, surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he thought to slay Moses. You know what I mean? But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by the well. You know what? I don't know if you ever seen this movie, but every time I read through this, when I was a kid, I watched it was a Disney movie.
Yeah, I remember
It was
that.
what was it called?
I think a Prince of Egypt or something
Prince
like
of
that.
Egypt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's funny because in the I don't remember this part in the movie if they even showed like that Pharaoh actually wanted to kill him.
I don't
I don't think
remember,
it
man. It's
showed
been
that,
so long.
but I did like that movie as a kid.
Yeah, it was a nice thing. I think they still got it on Netflix, I guess.
Yeah, but they made a bunch of weird stuff now. Like they changed Disney. It's weird. I
Yeah.
don't know. A lot of people don't like Disney. But anyways, more of the stories. I'm just trying to say when I was a kid, animated, it gave me little chills as a kid. So
Yeah, it was
served for
nice.
something perhaps. Um,
16.
16. Now when the Kohen, the priest of Midian, had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the bowls to give water to their father's flock. The shepherds came and drove them away, but Moshe stood up and helped them and watered their flock. When they came to Reuel, their Abba, he said, how is it that you came back so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew enough water for us and watered the flock. And he said to his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that you have left the man? Call him, that he may eat a meal. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter. And she bore him a son and called his name Gershom. For he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land.
22
23.
again.
22.
Okay.
And she bore him a son and called his name Gershom. For he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass, I like that, I've been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in due time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Yashrael sighed because of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up to Elohim because of the bondage. And Elohim heard their groaning, and Elohim remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And Elohim looked upon the children of Yashrael, and Elohim took note of them.
And
Reminds me of when uh what's her name? The first Ishmael, his mother, what was her name? Hagar.
Hagar, yeah.
When she was when she,
She was
that
an
was a
Egyptian
mess,
as well.
that was a messed up situation. But they basically used her to get a baby, then they regretted having the baby and they kicked her out and they sent her off to die and she was in
They
the desert crying.
name here Sarah. She was the one freaking out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she ran off into the desert to basically die and set Ishmael out and under some shade and just left him there to cry. And then Yahuwah heard the cries. So Yahuwah hears our cries. You know what I mean? All right. Guys, if you made it this far,
Thank you.
first of all, maybe you guys were with us in the live stream. You know what I mean? So if you were, thanks for being in the live stream and thanks for also watching the recording. We hope you guys enjoyed. We hope you guys got something out of it. Yeah, willing, Yahuwah has used us to do something for you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whatever, whether it's keeping you company, whether it's sharing the word, maybe giving you a good insight.
Maybe helping you read.
Yeah, maybe helping you read more, giving you, it's like a little book club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So hey man, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, share it with your friends, with family, share on social media. It's the best way you can help us if you like what we're doing here. And if you believe in the vision, what's the vision, you ask? Well, the vision is to get Messiah in front of as many people as possible and help them realize that there is a Yahuwah came down for you, that he came to give you a better life, that he
Amen.
came to give you an escape from the suffering, from the peril, from the lack of shalom, that he came to give you not just life, but life abundant, and to give you a shalom that passes all understanding, and to
Amen.
give you a rest, and to nourish you, to feed you, to love you, to give you a community, to give you a family. Not one that's going to turn their back on you, not one that's going to cast you away, but bring you in and build you up, and so on and so forth. So, hey, love you guys. Appreciate you. And we'll catch you on the next one. Shalom, shalom.
Amen. Shalom, y'all.